Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to the latest webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly. I'm thrilled this morning to be joined by Simon Powell, who is the Chief Executive at Inspiretec. And Simon is live from his stand at World Travel Market. How are you, Simon?
Hi, Lucy. Hi. Yeah, thanks very much. I'm very well, thank you. And yeah, it's Wednesday here at World Travel Market, so not as busy as the last 2 days, but we've had a very good show, and it's actually nice to see a bit of carpet around us, because the first 2 days here at World Travel Market absolutely heaving, and for those who've been will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and of course, that's what you wanted because you've got lots to talk to these people about, and you had an event as well to launch a new product. And that's why I wanted to talk to you because, in your words, Simon, you've talked about this new agency management tool being game changing, groundbreaking, cutting edge, and that excites us. So, talk to us about what it is, this new tool that you're launching, but crucially, why it is going to do all those things, those game changing things, why it's going to help the retail travel industry.
Well, as many people know, I come from the retail sector. My background, family business, retail travel agents, and at heart, I've always really wanted to change how retail operates. I think in today's world, we can see that technology is starting to move forward, and for us at here in Inspiretec, it's all how can we actually empower the agent? How can we give the agent the tools that are going to make a real difference to how they interact with their clients? There's an awful lot of chat at the moment around how AI is going to change everything, how we won't need travel agents and everybody's going to be out of a job. I firmly don't believe that's the case. For me, it's how do we give the agents the right tools to do the job? And what we've actually done is we've enhanced one of our other platforms, which is our tour operating platform, which we've been using for an awful long time inside the industry, and we have many clients on the platform. We've taken that forward. We've merged that with our CRM, and we've actually put all the agency management functions into there as well, and we've combined that with other parts of our platform. So that's why I'm really excited to be back in retail. Obviously, for those that know me, we at one point we probably powered about 70 to 80% of all the high street retail travel agents as it was in the good old days. So really excited to be back, and we wouldn't have really been able to do this without the investment, as many know as well, from David Speakman, who invested in us, and really his sort of mantra is all around that. How do we empower that agent, and personalization? And for those of you David speak previously, he talks about, is it transactional or is it relational? And actually, from our technology perspective, we want to bring the best of both together so that we're able to make sure that those agents have the best tools that they possibly can to service their clients.
Yeah. All right. Well, you mentioned David Speakman. Then, of course, he's got famously, set up travel counsellors, as we know. We'll talk about him a little bit because I know he spoke at your event yesterday. But Simon, you said that you felt travel agents had actually been ignored, and what did you mean by that? That people haven't given them the tools, and what are they using at the moment then that's holding them back? So and how is you've got all these different parts of your business that you're plugging in to create this sort of holistic system that will do the personalization and will do the quotes and will do you see what I mean? I want to know how exactly what the agent's going to get and how it's going to help them.
So if we look back over time, what's really happened in the agency world has become a much more fragmented from a technology perspective. There are very good systems that exist to do specific jobs, and that's all fine as long as all those systems talk together well, and actually there's a seamless client experience.
That is really interesting, because I was talking to Phil Nuttall. I hope he won't mind me quoting him on here, but that's exactly it. He says there's all these things you could take off the shelf. The problem is integrating them, and then that causes the problem. It's not seamless. Then they're all really good, but what we really need is one holistic thing that they can work from.
And that's absolutely correct. What Phil has said there hits the nail right on the head. Ultimately, from an agent perspective, what you want to be able to do is join up from the e-commerce perspective, so from the website. And they might only, normal travel agent might only have a small website. but actually wants to capture that 1, 2, or 3 inquiries that come through in a day, or the 20 or 30 or 40, or the 100, 200, 300 that come in.
Your
Want to
system
capture
can
those.
scale. Your system can scale whether you're tiny or
Yeah,
whether you're getting a lot of interest.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're starting right from the low end all the way up, all the way through. So absolutely, it's built to cover every size of agency. But what's really important, and going back to Phil's point, is that you need to join all these different elements of technology together. So the website talks to the CRM. So all of those clients, so you know from actually being on the website, you know who that client was, you know their preferences. We've talked about personalization for many years. Obviously, that's at the core of what we do as
Yeah,
well. But running all of that through to pre-booking, so from the quotation stage, being able to send out really nice, sexy quotes that look good, rich content, engaging, and then for that client to be able to interact with the travel consultant in order to make amendments, change that, and then right through to end self-service where they can see all their documents, they can see all their vouchers,
yeah,
they can actually pay their balance through the system, and it all sounds really basic. And a lot of the changes, Lucy, come around because if through the pandemic, we all changed our lifestyles in many different ways, as we know, whether that be hybrid working, whether that be remote working, whether that be actually the way that we shop. And I think when we look now at how we have to service clients in travel, it's really important that we actually service them in the way that they want to be serviced,
yeah,
not in the way that we can service them because of the limitations of the technology stack that we got.
yeah,
So to answer your question, it's really for us. It's taken us many years to be able to join even all the parts of our technology stacked together into one seamless delivery. We are there now. I'm really pleased, and to start to be able to roll this out to the retail sector. And for me, it's really exciting to have a product to come back in. And just finally, to answer the last part of your question, you know, although the technology was fragmented because of the large travel groups invested in their own technology, without a fairly large investment, which again, I'm pleased to say that David provided us. Without that, we wouldn't have been in the position to make the investments we've had to make to actually pull this back into the retail sector, because it, it's a big project, and it's not easy, as we all know, to deliver new technology, and those investments are required to make that happen.
yeah. I want to come on to talk about the practical rollout, etc. But just before you go on, because you made a really good point there, because obviously it's going to help agents, but it is going to help customers as well who are more demanding. I mean, you talk about this real evolution that we've been through where customer expectations, whether it's because of COVID or whatever, but we are more impatient. We want everything more efficient. We want it more bespoke to us. So it feels like the time is absolutely right for this. And I'm sure you have been working on it, and that's been part of it. But it does feel like you're launching it at a time, and with the AI threat or opportunity, we'll talk about that in a second. But with that as well as a backdrop, it feels like this is very much the right time for this.
We are very fortunate, as you know, Lucy. We've been in the industry for an awful long time, and we're a trusted supplier to all of our current clients. And therefore, when we've gone and started showing this product in the marketplace, which we did about 6 months ago, although we've only just officially launched it yesterday, it's been so well received, and that gave us the confidence then that actually the industry is ready for change, ripe for change, and requires that change in order to circumnavigate some of the threats that are coming around. You mentioned AI. We'll come on to that in a
Yeah,
second. But what we are trying to do is embed some of those functions to empower the agent. Because I think my point of view and is that I think by empowering the agent with these new technologies to start with is a much safer way to deploy these technologies in the longer term. Because as many people will know, the difference between writing a computer program and delivering something that does the same thing all over again, if you put the right data in, you get the consistency of a program and it delivers the same output. That's not the same with AI. AI is all around. Actually, it's making up its answers, and those answers can change. on very slight different ways that you
Yeah.
interpret things. Yeah. And then the big thing is around consistency, and what is an acceptable consistency of data responses. So, in a finance system, it has to be 100%. If you put things into a finance system, it has to be 100% accurate, and therefore we have to strive for that before we let it into the hands of the clients, who are going to be very not very unhappy if the results that they get
Yeah.
aren't accurate, aren't right, are incorrect.
Oh, well,
If
then
you're
they'll
given wrong
lose,
information,
of course,
total faith.
lose faith
Yeah,
completely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so very interesting then, Simon, that you said you've done a bit of a pilot or you've shown this around and it feels like there's an appetite for change. But practically, what would stop people taking this on? I mean, obviously there's a cost involved, clearly, but is it because it's quite an effort to come out of one system when you're used to it and it's what your team and your staff are used to, and then to put in another? I mean, how seamless is it if you say, right, I'm going to switch off that and I'm going to go with this one that does everything? I know I'm asking a really layman's question, but that would worry people, I guess, if they've got to come off one thing and retrain and learn something else.
So when anybody changes system, Lucy, it is always a challenge, obviously, and all of those points you just made there are all totally factual and accurate, and is always a bit of a challenge. What we're trying to do is make that challenge as easy as possible. So we have all sorts of aids to make that transition the very best that we can. And with some clients, we're actually migrating them to part of our system, which is all around the CRM, customer integration, where I was chatting around with the self-service and actually the web integration. So a lot of the things we're doing is bringing them across in stages. Obviously, we want them ultimately to be on our agent platform and to us to be the agency management system, as well as the CRM, which is controlling the client. And the big way that I see the difference there is CRM is all around that lifetime client, all around the client, from what's their average spend, when do they go away with us, have they booked or not this year. Whereas the agency management system is pretty transactional. It's all around
Okay.
that last holiday they booked. It's all so we look at how we can make. But I think we have a very large client. We are in the rollout stage of that client at the moment, and and again there we've actually put it in. First of all, we put the CRM in to actually get the users and the end users happy with that. And then at the first quarter of next year, the agency management system agent goes in, and then we'll be able to move forward.
Okay. So there is a possibility to do it in a phased approach, which might not be quite so daunting. And as you say, we've got to embrace change. Can you tell us who the client is that you've signed?
Yes, that's the co-op. So that's Mid-Counties Co-op.
Great. Okay, so starting with quite a big one then, but you'd be happy to hear from small or anyone, I guess, really, who is interested in upgrading their
We're
system.
we're in the market. We're very much looking to talk to anybody that's interested, and we will help them through the process. We have a really good training academy that's online as well, so we can actually get the training out there in a very effective manner.
Oh,
But we
great.
think because of the way that this new technology has been developed, the UI is very intuitive. We're not trying to make this hard. We've done things like downloading of the bookings, because if we look, and I was chatting to some travel agents yesterday, actually in many ways, view data, as we all know, it was a really bad selling tool, but a really good order entry tool. And we were able to actually automate some of the back office there by downloading the view data into the back office agency management system. But now we've gone and moved all the way to the B2B portals, there was very little downloading of information that was coming from those portals. So we addressed that to start with. So across the main operators, including Gold Medal, Jet2 Holidays, EasyJet Holiday, TUI, we've actually got those automated downloads coming back into the agency management system. And again, that's for ease, and that's to stop the rekeying, that's to stop the data entry issues.
Yeah.
But another big point is, from an agent perspective, you only want to key data into one place. And that's why a lot of our work has been done in actually making that seamless transition of data across the sectors and across the different platforms, so that we actually only there's only one interaction that the travel agent needs to keep that data flowing.
So much less labor intensive. You
Absolutely.
listed some of those tour operator suppliers that you've already sort of got their downloads. So are you going to be continually getting more and more suppliers on board?
Absolutely, that's just the first couple of that are there.
Well,
It's a
you've gone for the
constant.
big ones. You've gone
Oh,
you've
right, yeah.
started with the volume. I think that's probably a sensible idea. But I guess some people will want more niche and different types of operators. So it will be able to sort of pan across all of those different sort of sectors, will it?
Absolutely, yes, yeah, and we're just starting on the cruise downloads now. So from in the cruise sector, so we, again, in our platform, you can search cruise, you can look at the itineraries, but at this point in time, you have to go off to the different cruise line portals
Yeah.
in order to make those bookings. But actually, just bringing that cruise download or that cruise P&R grab, as we call it, back into the agency management system. Again, that can bring the commission across. It can be the cabin type. It can bring the dining options. All of those sorts of things
Yeah,
without
well, that's
rekeying it.
interesting, isn't it? Because you think that the suppliers, whether it's cruise, whatever, really want the agent to go into their system so they can then show them all the cabin options or the upgrades or the balcony room or so you're saying that you can have it all in one place, but you can still do all those extras and extra to enhance the sale so the agent can earn more.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you know, all the travel types, including cruise and luxury, they want you to use the B2B portal because
Yeah.
ultimately they're in control of that. They can put any ancillaries through that
Yep.
they want, and they can make it as specific as they want for the agent. So the days of a consolidated selling system, selling across, there are niches for it, and obviously online now is required. But I think in the empowering the agent world, I think it's very important that we still leave the ability for them to use those B2B portals, but instead of having to then rekey all that information, actually get that data into the CRM, into the agency management system, and into all the other parts of the system, so that we can make sure that we are making the agent's time as actually efficient as possible, and and from a back office perspective, not causing issues when it comes to the reconciliation because something's been miskeyed on the way through.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, I mean, that will be music to everyone's ears, I'm sure. Um, we mentioned AI a couple of times, and Simon, I've seen you more lately than for a long time because you keep appearing on panels discussing AI. It's the buzzword. People are interested in it. They're probably nervous of it. They're probably excited by it. I mean, it is a bit of an interesting subject at the moment. We brought you on a panel at our Future Travel Conference. I thought you were fantastic because you were talking about how it would enhance agents actually, which is music to my readers' ears. But not everyone will have seen you there. Like just your view in a bit more detail. Should agents be thinking of this as an opportunity rather than a threat?
Absolutely, Lucy. What's changed if we think about this in the real world? What's really changed in the last 18 months with Chat GPT coming along, and it's really just opened it up for everybody to play with it. Yeah. So
I have, and we all have. We've all had a go.
We all have, exactly, and we all should have a go, by the way, and we should all keep having a go. And I think there's a couple of real life cases where we've used it and we use it in our business. So a simple way is in our Canvas product, which is all around producing quotations pre-sale. We've got a little couple of widgets in there that go off and call chat to find other information. For example, if we know the destination, we can go and call which are the best restaurants in the locality, what are the best attractions, and let chat go off and bring that information back. But that's all there then to be edited, to be checked by actually the agent, so they can decide if they want, by a human, and decide if they want to include that in the document or not. And those lists of widgets are just growing and growing because ultimately it's not hard to do. That's from a technical perspective, is a very simple thing to do, but very effective when the client actually gets some personalized information that looks like it's taken ages to put together, but in the real world hasn't taken very long at all because you've used OpenAI or you've used an equivalent. But so that's one example. Content creation for websites, as we probably all know, you can tell these systems to generate content on a destination. You can actually ask it to change the tone of voice on that content. You can actually tell it to actually shorten the sentence length to only average at 10, and then you can automate that. So you could give it a list of places that you want to create new content for your website. You've got to be very careful. We've created a little tool to do that for one of the small cruise businesses I'm involved in. And you've got to be very careful. You don't be seen as a content farm because you're creating content too quickly, because the technology enables you to do that now. But obviously the search engines like Google don't like you creating too much content too quickly, because they think you're a content farm at that point. And that's not a good thing from an SEO ranking perspective.
No, you want want unique content in any case. So
absolutely, So so in the old days, you would have gone to a content writer and said, please write me 50, 100, 150, 500 pages of content, because you want it to be unique. But you just wouldn't do that today. As a starting point, you just ask chat or one of the robots that exist to go off and write that for you.
You're starting to worry me that I might not have a job, Simon.
No, Lucy, there's never a chance of that. We know that. That's never going to happen. But I think a lot of the background tasks, on the panel, it was, Ian said, I've created a number of these questions by asking chat what questions to ask, and that's absolutely, because actually putting that human touch on top, if it can take 80, 50, 70% of the workload that sits behind creating different content, wherever it may be, and then you can spend the time actually making that personal. You can actually make that and put then the creative flair around that. That's got to be a better use of time, hasn't it, than starting from the beginning?
Yeah, that's what this is all about. This whole conversation ultimately, isn't it? It's about better use of time so that agents can spend more time on that relationship. As you said, it goes hand in hand with the transaction, and your technology is going to help them free up some time to do the bit that they're really good at, which is the selling and the relationship building and getting it right for their customers. So look, back to agent, Simon. You mentioned at the start of this chat that at one point you had 70 or 80% of the retailers in the country were using your system. Is that the aim? Is that realistic? Is that what you want to get to with this new management tool you've created?
We'd love to, Lucy, yeah, and it is one of our aims. I think that we're in a very unique position in the market because we've integrated all these various different touch points that the agent will have with the client all together. So from our perspective, we are very sure that we are unique, and getting back to 70, 80% of the agency market would be a fantastic achievement for us. And we really think it's a possibility. So we're out there, and we'd love to talk to anybody who's interested.
All right. Well, listen, Simon, well done for bringing it out and doing 3 days at WTM with all those people. And it's a busy place, but I know you had some great attendance at your launch event, and you had David there as well. I'm sure he said something controversial, didn't he?
He was very good, to be honest, Lucy. He only said one or two very controversial things, which was very, very, very good for David, as we know. But no, it was fantastic, and
nice for him to be back involved as well in something positive to help agents, because I know that's what he's passionate about.
He came back to the stand after the event with Maureen yesterday, and was around for about 2 hours. And to see David interacting with our clients and potential clients, it was actually lovely, because he's done a lot for our industry, as we know, and I think it's amazing, and it was lovely to see him back in the industry that he loves with a real passion.
All right. Well, I wish you and David and the whole team there well. Will you come back on and tell us, I guess, how it goes, how the rollout goes, and how people are using it? It would be really interesting. Maybe we could get a demo at some point.
Absolutely. Would love to at any time, Lucy. Yeah, right, would love to.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much as well, Lucy. Bye-bye.